like most of us business owners, increasing your profitability is always on your mind. And you're probably looking for ways to grow your revenue while growing your company too. Well, you found a podcast that shares ideas to help you do just that. I'm Marcia Riner. I'm a business growth strategist. I've helped tons of small business owners to establish and implement a tangible plan that guarantees increased profitability, guides your growth, and plans for a future exit. Because building a highly profitable and sale-ready business creates a win-win scenario. That's more money now and a windfall when it's time to let go. And I'm so excited to share strategies that I've learned with you on today's Profit with a Plan podcast. But before we get started, I have some great news for you. I've launched a super powerful training called the 30-Day Profit Booster. This is where I show you how you can get a 45% net profit boost in just 30 days, simply by following a 3-step method that doesn't require you to chase more customers. This quick and easy profit building strategy can be done without spending more money on marketing, hiring an additional staff, or working longer hours. Go check it out at 30dayprofitbooster.com for more information. All right, listeners, so I am really super excited. Today, you are with me to celebrate, get this, my 200th episode. What? And so what I've done in celebration of 200 episodes is to kind of flip the camera around back on me. And I have my guest host with me today, my dear friend, Mischa, okay, I'm going to butcher his last name, Zvegintzov, or Mischa Z. I know I butchered it. It was good enough, but not really that great. So Mischa is fantastic. I couldn't ask for a better swap to come in and highlight a little bit about me, your host, and like I said, flip the cameras around. So Mischa, I'm going to have you take it away.
Well, first off, hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 200. What? I mean, that is a testament to perseverance, consistency. What else can we throw in there? Just amazingness, right? So congratulations.
Stick-to-itness.
Stick-to-itiveness, right? Oh my gosh, 200 episodes, and I'm sure you have amazing stories of all your 200 guests that you've had on there. And
exactly.
thank you so much for having me be the to flip the switch and have me be the guest interviewer for your 200th episode. And
it's kind of hard to say, right? I mean,
yes.
I can't say that there's, unless you're a big podcaster, that anybody ever stuck with it this long, right? And yeah, it's been like 4 years that I've been doing this, and I've just found a platform and a voice where I really feel comfortable, as well as I know you do too. But first, before I do anything, the background looks a little different here because I happen to be celebrating a couple of big monumental events, and I am coming to you today from Playa del Carmen in Mexico. So woohoo, a little hola and a little, hey, we're here in Mexico doing the 200th episode. So that makes it even a little bit more exciting.
Yes. And tell us the name of the podcast again.
Profit with a Plan is the name of the podcast.
Welcome everybody to the Profit with a Plan podcast. I'm your guest host, Mischa Zvegintzov, aka Mischa Z. I'm also the testimonial guy. You could say that as well. And I get to interview you, Marcia, for the 200th for your 200th episode from Playa del Carmen. And I'll tell you what I love about that is you're getting to live the expat lifestyle. You've literally created the business for yourself that you help other people create, right? Like, would you say that's correct?
Absolutely. I think that, not all businesses are meant to be, digital nomad style, but, one of the things that most business owners got into business to have is that time freedom, right? To be able to do things that, not not follow the man and live under an 8 to 5 kind of punch in time clock, right? They want to have the freedom. And I think that's what I've embodied over the years, is to start to enjoy and live the freedom that should come with every business owner. Because I mean, a lot of the business owners, I find that if you start to shake an idea, it's taking a 3 week, or in my case, a 5 week vacation. This is work business, but 5 week time away from your business, that everything would implode.
Yeah.
The orders wouldn't be delivered. When the cat's away, the mice will play. Nobody's getting anything done mentality. And I think putting in what I teach and work with my clients on, and getting those systems and processes in place, and those accountability and leadership roles in place, that you can take some time off and know that you're not stuck to your computer having to be there to run the company. It can be run without you.
Yeah, what a gift, right? Like that's a true
Yeah.
gift. I think a lot of us start our businesses thinking, well, we love it first off, so we're like, I have no problem putting all this time and effort into it, but it can take a hold of our lives and almost imprison us. So to be able to create those systems that you help people do to in effect have the business run itself. And one of my favorite things that you talk about that you do is you're helping them create an asset that is saleable in the future.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, and how powerful is that? I mean, that's very powerful. And I'm going to ask you a question around that in a second, but I did want to touch on the fact 200 episodes, amazing. The one of the dirty little secrets of podcasting is we hear that, oh, there's all these podcasts out there, boom, boom, boom. The reality is, I believe the number was it's either 80 or 90% of podcasts don't make it past 10 episodes.
Boom. I'm way past 10.
You are
My
way
first 10 were
past 10.
horrific. Don't watch the first 10. They're me looking into the camera trying to be all like, so how about profitability in your business? Until a friend of mine goes, who the heck was that? And I'm like, well,
Can, can I
uh,
just, oh my gosh, once you get momentum and get some stick to itiveness around it and some longevity around it, how fun does it become too?
it really does, because it allows me to bring people like yourself on the show, and really showcasing you allows me to become the expert. I come in with a couple of yeahs, but it's all about you and that expert that you bring to it, and becoming the interviewer of your life. You learn so much. And these brilliant people that come on and showcase their talent on your show brushes off on you, right? So then you
Yeah.
become the expert, and kind of looking really good,
Yes.
because you brought these people on and these connections on. Surprisingly enough, one of he was a little awkward, but he's the vice president of Jot Form in Turkey, and this was right around when the Turkish area got those earthquakes and we had to reschedule. But I brought him on. Believe it or not, his episode just on YouTube had 4,500 views.
What?
What? I don't think I got, I mean, I think if you stack them all together, I'm somewhere close to that. But this one guy, because it was the connection and power he had, they all came and got a chance to see me as the
Yeah.
host. So that was cool stuff.
I love that too. And I'll tell you this, not for us to go down this rabbit hole, but why not for any fledgling podcasters out there? One of the really fun things about interviewing somebody, and it's perhaps not interviewing like the A type person, but maybe a B or a C type person, is they're so excited to be interviewed and get their message out there that they just share it with their network, right? So it's almost better to not shoot for the Joe Rogan interview, but shoot for
Right.
like your jot form guy that's like, hey, look, like I've got some expertise and they want to spread it with their network, right?
Exactly. And I think that's really the leverage that we're doing here, because I'm not selling my, what on here. I'm not intending to. We always want to add a little value in the beginning and the end. But I think the real piece to this is that you want someone who's genuine and can provide value to the audience. And through there, they have their own network. So then I get exposed to their network, they get exposed to my network. And if we do the right kind of SEO and tags on it, then it gets exponentially shared to a new network of people that haven't seen either of us. And so
Yeah.
it's just I can't talk about enough about how powerful the podcasting platform is for so many people. And because I do it as a video and as an audio, I think the audience gets a little flair of, my mannerisms and the guest mannerisms as well as just the sound. But you can hear this on a treadmill, you can do it on a dog walk, you can do it while you're doing dishes, whatever you're doing. It gives
Yeah.
you in the car, right? It gives you that opportunity to really listen to something else that can improve your life and your business.
Love that. So back to what you do, and perhaps we would even call it a superpower. But
Yeah.
you help, yeah, you help people create like a true asset with their business. And I think that a lot of us go into creating a business with the hope that we can create something that we can sell or monetize or have an exit strategy with. But the reality is we become the business, and so we have nothing to sell, perhaps is a good way to say it. So how does Marcia, well, let's see, where do I want to go with this? I would say just quick, like in 5 minutes or less, or 30 seconds or less, like what are some of the ways that you can quickly say, hey, here's how you know you're trapped in your business, and here's what you should start doing to look at create how to start shifting your mindset to creating an asset. Is that too broad of a question for you, or
No,
can you
it's
can you run with
it
that?
is really on point. So think about this. So like you said in the beginning, most people have their jam. They know how to swing a hammer. Let's just throw that out there. They know how to swing a hammer. They know how to do something really good. And then they mistakenly wrap a business around it, which is the problem, rather than thinking like a business owner, forming a business and then delivering a solution that your ideal customer needs. So the challenge becomes is like you said, we get trapped in our business doing the task. There's 25, 50, 1,000 books out there talking about like what the E-Myth talks about, right? That you
Yeah.
become the technician in your company because you have this skill set. And that to me is not transferable. But the way that's probably the number one trap is when you find that nobody else can do what you do and therefore
Mm.
you do it yourself, right?
Mm.
And then you have supportive people around you to make you be the superstar of your company. And I think that's the wrong position to be in, because that just attaches you to that ever troubling job, that 3-letter word, that you have the worst employee of the worst company with the worst boss making you do slave labor tasks for close to minimum wage or less because you're trading time for money.
Yeah.
And so that's the big aha that business owners need to think about, or entrepreneurs need to think about when redesigning their company in a way that it feels like a big company. It could be intimate and close, but it's got to have the factors or the frameworks of a large company to be able to sell it. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be a $1 billion revenue company. I had a guest on a few weeks, maybe a month and a half ago back, that says he can sell a $500,000 a year revenue company for anywhere between 2 and 5 multiples on a marketplace, right? But it has to be positioned properly. And the positioning is that you've got to be able to not, I can't, like Mischa, I can't sell you if you are still swinging the hammer every day in your company. You have to have the systems and people and processes in place so that you step back And therefore, you now are the CEO, Chief Executive Officer, not Chief Everything Officer. You're the Chief Executive Officer that is leading a company, a team of 3 or 5, a team of 50 to 100, whatever that number is. But a team you're overseeing from the leadership role, the company that has the people and processes in place that allows somebody else to come in and step into the leadership role that doesn't have to swing a hammer. Does that make sense?
It makes
Did I draw a
absolute
picture
sense.
clear enough?
You drew the picture very, very clearly. It's very clear to me. Um, I think anybody listening or watching this might go, that might sound horrifying to them. They're like, wait, what? I have to do what? So you, with your superpower, you help make it easy, fun, or you're able to baby step them through it so they're able to,
All of the above.
yeah, yeah,
All of the above. So here's kind of the flip on it. They're having a business that is, I call it sale ready or able to be sold someday in the future. That's whenever you decide that you're going to flip a switch and do something new. There's a buyer that wants it. You're just flat out done and ready for the rocking chair, whatever your situation is, but it's somewhere in the future. Ideally, the more time you have in the future, the better it is to prepare yourself. But to flip that around a little bit, what the real magic that I do is in the tactics and strategies that we develop in your business today that makes a fantastic, highly profitable, enjoyably run company that makes you enough money to cash flow is the word, right? You've got
yeah,
enough money running through your company for you to be considered profitable that in turn of doing that, it makes your business attractive to be sold in the future. So it's kind of like, is it the chicken and the egg or the cart and the horse? Well, it's both. And by doing one, you achieve the second. And if you don't do the one, then I promise you the second is going to be incredibly difficult, if not close to impossible.
yeah,
So it is a two-sided sword. Well,
yeah.
chicken and the egg. Who
Chicken
crosses the
and the
road
egg.
first?
So I'm imagining a client comes to you and and I imagine that I'm going to call it a sticky space where they're like, I can't let go. I want to, but I can't, or I don't have a clear vision of how. Have you, do you have a favorite story or perhaps a client you're working with now who's started the process and then as you're helping them build it out and execute this where they're like, oh my gosh, you see the freedom develop in their life. Does that make sense a little bit?
Heck yeah. So many of my clients come to me and they are that technician, right? They're the person that's doing the company. And if you think about it, growth and scaling are what we're talking about in the Ross form here. So growth means that you sell more of your thing, right? And in order to sell more of your thing, you have to expand the base, which is your scale, right? So you either have to buy new equipment or put people in place because the business owner taps out after a while, right? You've got to invest in some techniques or software, or God forbid, you get involved in AI or whatever you're doing, right? You're doing this stuff down here. So if you can see the difference, growth is more sales and scaling is setting up the structure of the company to handle the more sales you're doing. So you're always going to be doing this like up and out, up and out, up and out, or out and up, whichever comes first. And what it always triggers me is when the business owner finally scales because they've grown to a part that they can't handle anymore. They're stressed out. They're working 60 hours a week. They become the bottleneck in the business, and then we scale. And then it's like usually the first couple weeks after the scale that they go, "Oh, that's what you were talking about." And like everything starts to go and the stress falls, right? And now they're getting that time freedom that they wanted. So instead of working 60 plus hours a week, they're now able to work maybe 35 because they've got the things moving around them. And again, we're not talking market domination here. We're not talking going from a bookseller to Amazon. We're talking about just a step up. But when they do that, and until they step their foot and put their foot into the pool, they don't see it or can't see it or can't feel it. And when they do, it's like, oh, this little light bulb comes on, and they're like, oh, that's what you were talking about. I love this. And then it's hard to hold them back.
Yeah, then game on, right?
Game on. But it's that first growth scale combination where we've put a couple of tactics and strategies in place. They start to see the momentum, and then when they feel it, and that's magic. I mean, then I got them hook, line, and sinker. They're in, they're done, they're committed, they're ready to go, and the harder part is done. Right now, they can flow with it and move forward. It's
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
it sounds amazing. I mean, I think too. I'm just thinking, I'm thinking as I've been in the grind before, and when I've made changes like that, you know, it can be transformative to your family relations as well. So
100%.
right? So depending on where your customer is in their arc of life, they could have a wife and perhaps or a husband, whatever the case may be, and a couple, tweens, for example, and all of a sudden, and there's family tension there, and then you're able
There
to
always
provide that.
is.
Yeah, yeah, and then I guess you're I imagine you're helping revitalize those relationships as like a side benefit almost,
Ooh,
perhaps, right?
I'm a healer. I'm a healer. No, I think what it is, I know it cracks me up, huh? I think what it is that generations before us were always, you just got to make one more call.
Yeah,
You just got to work harder.
yeah,
Hard work pays off,
yeah.
and that's not always, yes, hard work, it still requires hard work. But at a certain shift in your business, you're able to break over that threshold, and it becomes easier. So when I first started in the financial planning world, one of my leaders had told me, "Oh, it's your first 5 years. You're going to work half day, 7 to 7, right? And you're going to work your butt off, and you're going to do this. But once you get to that point, it becomes exponentially easier.
Mm,
Getting to that point is really hard.
mm.
Now, there's shortcuts by using people like myself, like yourself, to shortcut that path for you and show you easier ways to get there. But it is true. Once you can pass that threshold into the next phase of your business, the relationship that is stressed out because you were working half days, and the financial strains that you were having, and the fact that you missed Bobby's baseball game and Susie's concert and this because all you were doing is eating, sleeping, and drinking your business, because that's what us business entrepreneurs do, right? But when you can get past that moment, it's life changing. Uh, Mischa, you and I just found a book that has not been released yet, right? The 2X is, or the 10X is easier than the 2X.
Benjamin Hardy.
It is, yeah, it is really that movement that it's easier to grow big than it is to stay small.
Yes, I love that. I think it's so interesting. I had a recent breakthrough uh for that myself, where sometimes I can get stuck in make enough money to pay the bills so I don't fall behind, right? Where perhaps my goal is to build the $10 million business, but I end up spending 80% of my energy building the infrastructure to pay the bills now, where if I can flip that, that go, no, look at the $10 million business, like that's what I'm building. And so then I start spending the majority of my time and effort, right, uh building the infrastructure for that, right? That's what we're talking about
Yeah,
here. Yeah.
exactly. It is truly amazing. I've found through my years of experience, and in one way, shape, or form, I've been doing this for now 25 years. I know I don't look it, but you know,
What?
one way, shape, or form, 25 years. And what I've found is the common piece is that business owners are focusing on the wrong stuff.
Hmm.
They're chasing shiny objects, the squirrel, the latest greatest thing. They're essentially chasing clients and putting out fires rather than focusing on the 20% of the business that actually makes the biggest impact. They're spending 80% of their time doing the wrong stuff and 20% on what's making the cash register ring, right? The real stuff. And like you said, if we can flip it around and take that 80% of the focus and put it on that 20%, then it exponentially grows the business. You still have the 20% to focus on the other stuff or delegate, hire, find systems and processes that can do it for you or do it easier for you. But if you can focus on what really grows and impacts your business, then it becomes that, kind of as my old company name was, trajectory, right? Getting the trajectory and the arch of the direction you want your business to go into. Then it will really make that impact. And I think that's really where my power comes in is being
Mm.
able to, as a visionary, see past the trees, past the forest, through the trees to the thing that needs to be adjusted, and then to help them make those tactics work. Then they start getting that momentum and start to trust themselves and can focus on the area that they really need to be focusing on.
I
Because
love
there's
it.
kind of, we all wear 8, 10 hats in business, but do you really need to spend so much time with this hat on, or should you be over here?
Right. I love that, and what's going to come with that, and I don't want an answer for this, but I'm just going to uh emphasize that as you're helping your customers break through, they are going to not only get this emotional freedom, but what's going to come with it is like more revenue, more net income, more financial freedom, right? And I love that. And I do want to say, anybody watching right now, I'd be remiss if I said, if anyone's like, yes, I'm loving what Marcia is saying right now, where can they find you? Where are we telling them to click below? Click below to find Marcia.
Right.
Where?
All over the podcast, you will see Marcia. So my new branded company, I had a life altering moment, life as forming business. A couple months ago, some Yahoo came into town on a horse with my company's name on it and told me to go pound sand because he was going to use that name, even though he didn't have the rights to it. And because I did not trademark my company name, Trajectory Company, I was left to either battle a losing battle or shift and expand. And therefore, I shifted and expanded into Infinite Profit Consulting, which is my new jam. It opened up so many doors and so many opportunities, the infinite possibilities of companies as well as the infinite profit. So you guys can find me anywhere at Infinite Profit Consulting. It's in the process of being trademarked, so all that's really good. Nobody's going to be able to step on that one in the future. But I think that my profit boosting system and methodology that I use is so crazy impactful that I'm able to throw some guarantees in here that say that if you try my stuff and it doesn't work for you, either A, you didn't do what I told you to do and shame on you, or B, you did what I said it was going to do and it didn't work, which is incredibly rare. I'm going to give you your money back, or I'm going to keep working with you until it does work. So that's how powerful my stuff is, that it will change your business's life forever because you focused on the 20%.
Which is amazing. So if I heard you correctly, you said if anybody's like, I'm willing to give Marcia and her processes a spin, and they put a financial outlay towards you to do that, they hire you,
Yep.
and they don't have success either because you they did the work and it didn't work, or they didn't do the work, you'll still guarantee like,
I
we'll
will
keep trying, or I'll give you your money
I
back.
I put my money where my mouth is. I really do, because when you are that confident about the work that you have come to, right? You've found um what's the yellow brick road, right? You've found the pathway to profit, and you're so confident that these things will work. I will guarantee. So there's absolutely no risk not to try me, because I'm guaranteeing that it's going to work.
Amazing.
Shame on
So
you if you don't
everybody,
do the work.
shame on you if you don't do the work. You'll still get your money back, but why would you,
Right.
like do the work and get the freedom and get the money and get and transform your business into a saleable
Right.
asset. I mean, all the benefits are incredible. So everybody, Infinite Profit Consulting, the link will be in the show notes, or type it in as you're listening and or watching this, and jump on a call, or follow through on what's there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
And
the great thing that is available is I am always talking about increasing revenue, driving growth, and preparing your business for a future sale. So all you have to do is follow Marcia Riner or Infinite Profit Consulting, anywhere on social media, and you'll see that I am talking about it all the time. So it's a great place to troll me for a little while if you want to check it out. But yeah, awesome.
amazing. And I know we have a book. You've got a new book out. Don't say it
I
yet, but
do.
we're going to talk about a book. We've got a book to talk about here shortly, but I wanted to just let everybody know we've got a super fun book that
Yeah.
Marcia has written. It's got amazing content and strategies and things to talk about. But before we get to that, I have a couple of questions, and I want to start with: do you have a favorite customer that comes to mind that you could perhaps name? That's like, this is where I was able to help take them from A to B, or
Yes and no, because I haven't asked their permission to share their name.
okay,
But there are some companies that I have been able to shift dramatically. There are uh, I know they'll wave their hands if I say what they are, and they'll go, "Wait a minute, you didn't ask me first." So shame on me for not throwing that out there. But I've seen companies that have year over year exponentially grown their revenue um, in the high double digits, if not triple digit numbers. Um, I have taken help to take a light manufacturing company to, we'll call it double. I'm thinking it's a little closer to triple production um, in a very short window of time, by helping him find the right people, feel confident enough in the processes, and do the things that he needed to do. Really, it was just pulling back the curtain and opening the door for him. I didn't do a lot of the heavy lifting in that aim of doing, but being able to have him see things in a different way and look at it in a different way, things have opened up. Um, let's see. So I have turned a company that the professional service firm wanted to get out immediately into, oh, I love being the rainmaker, and now I've got people doing the work for me that I don't think I'm ever going to sell. I'm going to keep being the rainmaker on. So in those three pieces, one where revenue, exponentially grew, serious numbers, production numbers grew seriously, to God, I love my business again. How cool is that? So yeah, there's all different kinds of ranges that have come my way, which is quite lovely. Fun.
Um,
It's
amazing.
enjoyable.
And I'm going to use this as an opportunity to pitch myself and what I do, because
Please. Yeah.
so what I do, and anybody go to testimonialguy.com, and we can set up a call, or you can follow me and see what I do, but is I help gather those stories that we're talking about, so that you can have that success story to talk about, reference, get their story on videos so you can apply it in your marketing and things like that. The
You
testimonial
know,
guy. So
hearing from other people to praise your work is incredible, right? I mean, if I sit here and say, oh, well, Joe Schmo said this, that's got a little bit of weight. But the way Mischa takes it and goes to Joe, and Joe says, oh my God, Marcia was fantastic. We did this, this, and that just exponentially, adds value to the system and to all of your marketing that, you know, it's good stuff. So Mischa's actually going to be on one of the future podcasts coming on, so you'll get to hear about his story really soon too.
yes. And so again, we you've got a new book coming, and I'm going to just keep teasing this a little bit. Boosting business profits.
Yeah,
And I'm going to
it's
give
the
you the
third book.
choice. The
That's
third
my
book. What?
third book.
Oh my
What?
gosh.
Yeah. So we're running a little tight on time here, so I think
Okay.
I'm going to jump ahead and go ahead and
Do.
boost that. So
Yes.
my first book, 2018-ish, was Big Profit Secrets Exposed. Oh, it was kind of some methodology to, how to increase your revenue and cut costs. It just made sense to me as my first book. The last book last year, I released Profit Accelerator, right? And so these were 12 strategies that would dramatically increase your profit, revenue, and value of your company. And through that book, I was interviewing business owners to get their insights on how these strategies had worked for their companies. And the insights I got helped me revamp and write that book, the third book, which is Boosting Business Profits, and really dive into more 15 different strategies and a methodology that created more of a step-by-step pathway to consistent growth, consistent revenue that produced a highly profitable company, right? And so I share in this book, Boosting Business Profits, this pathway that I think every business should go through. And it's essentially my framework. You can follow it, you could read it. It's an easy read. It's one of those airplane ride reads, or you could do it in a brief moment, but it gives you kind of some insights into how this wonky brain works. And from there, I continue to interview business owners to see how my strategies would impact these different industries to grow. And then magically, we step from there and find how the strategies that I'm talking about will actually produce an ROI in your company. So I'm able to show you that, and therefore you can see in your own eyes with little incremental changes what kind of impacts you can get in your business. So that's cool as far as I'm concerned.
That's pretty
Like,
amazing. So
let
would
me
we
pat myself on the back. It's pretty great. It's pretty great stuff.
would you call what you just said that like a key takeaway, or do you have other key takeaways that you think people would get from the book, or like what's your favorite
Yes. So,
concept or takeaway that you're like,
oh my
go ahead?
gosh. So there's so many. There's so many. Literally, Mischa, when I work with my clients one on one, I have 56 different, no, I think I even got more than that, 56 different strategies and tactics that I could implement in the company, based on what their needs are. And it's any kind of cocktail or mixture or recipe of several together. But I think that probably the most important one that I get the biggest bang for, and I always start my companies off with, is the one that I talked about in the beginning, the 30-day profit booster, because it shifts their company in a way to get an immediate boost in profits that A, they start feeling the momentum, and B, they can afford to pay for me, right? So it balances it out in both ways, but that starts to get the things rolling. And I'm all about tactics and strategies. I'm very, one-sided of the brain. If you've got a mindset problem, I'm probably not your gal. But if you want to get some stuff done and you want to get some momentum going in your company, I'm the gal.
I love it. That's amazing. So everybody, Marcia Riner, 200th episode, Profit with a Plan podcast. I'm your, yeah, woohoo, I'm your temporary host, Mischa Zvegintzov. And this has been awesome. Do we have more time, or are we thinking, hey,
I
no,
think
we've
I
covered
think we're I
everything?
think we're kicking on the extension of the show. But Mischa, before I take back the reins of the show and kind of finish this up, you do some fantastic stuff as the testimonial guy. I know you've got things that you're sharing, and maybe the audience needs to know how to get some testimonials in their business. Where can they find out more about you? And do you have anything that might tickle their fancy and get them to be more enticed to come on over?
Yeah, absolutely. So everybody can find me at testimonialguy.com. You can go there, and I have what's called my perfect video testimonial system,
Mm,
which is my 5-step system for getting your customers to gladly do your selling for you, which is
love it.
what we want, right? And I think a key takeaway quick would be that I think people are surprised how much their customers want to give their success stories to you,
Mm.
right? And I would use an example. Russell Brunson, for example, right? You know Russell
Our favorite
Brunson?
guy.
Yeah, your favorite guys. So if Russell, who he's a mentor coach to you, I would say, right?
Yep, yep,
Absolutely. And you pay him some money to help you, yes?
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. And if Russell came to you and said, "Hey, Marcia, um, I'd love to get you on video saying how I've helped you," what would you do?
Heck yeah.
Heck,
I mean, because when you get the results that you're thinking of, right? As a customer, when you get the results, you want to share it, right? And it's not, I think the trick is, and I think what Mischa you do, which is so different from just going, "Oh, Mischa, Marcia was success for you. Can you just tell us what you did?" You guide them to get the answers that we're looking for that will help move the needle for somebody else. And I think
I,
that's the missing part, because if you've ever, I mean, listeners, I'm sure you've, asked for a referral or a testimonial, and they go, "Oh, Marcia's great. You should go to her." Okay. That's not a testimonial. That's just we like Marcia. But you're able, through the testimonial guy, to be able to get to the heart of how I've helped somebody in a way that will help somebody else make a decision, which I think just blows everybody away.
Absolutely. That's a great way to say it. Thank you for that. And one of the tools I use is my customer story arc framework. So I've got a framework that I dive in and I get that story, and I get I just get the full story, and that's got the juice and the emotion and the before, what happened, the after, and we dig deep on the
Love it.
objections and all kinds of fun stuff. So
Love it. Well, awesome. All right, listeners, golly. Normally I'm showcasing somebody else. So this was really awkward and uncomfortable for me to get up and talk about me. I mean, I can do it from stage, I can do it from podcast, but when it's your own home and your own listeners, it just feels a little weird. But hey, as I always say, as I start to wrap my show up, I hope you found an idea or two to put into your business to help you be more profitable. I know between the two of us, Mischa and myself, that you've probably gotten a couple ideas. And I encourage you to take action on those and really focus on that 20% that you should be focusing on, and kind of push off or direct that 80% in a more productive way. And while you're at it, would you like to boost your net profitability by 45% in just 30 days? Don't think it's possible? Check out my new training called the 30-Day Profit Booster. This quick and easy profit boosting strategy can be done without spending additional money on marketing, hiring more staff, or working longer hours. For more information, go to 30dayprofitbooster.com. And as always, Mischa and I would love to hear your questions. This time it's based on me, Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what's going on. Marcia, do you like me? Do you hate me? Do you have a question? What strategies? What step? Hit me up in the comments. Tell me what's going on. And that way I can, and Mischa and I can both comment back on the thread. And while you're at it, please subscribe to today's podcast. You don't want to miss any future ones. And you can always catch Profit with a Plan on any of your favorite podcast players. We're looking forward to more great profitable information on next week's show. So until then, make your plans and profit with them. Thank you so very much, Mischa. You made me look great.
It's so good to be here. So much fun. Thank you for bringing me the flavors.